So, Ritu, as you were pointing out, two out of these three minor girls actually were residing at the hostel, if I understand this correctly. So, a lot of questions are going to be raised as far as the warden and other authorities of how they even let these minor girls outside the premises.
True, that's the whole point. You see, the parents who are sitting outside the premises who are protesting against the school authorities for not responding to their questions for all these days are continuously raising the same question, saying where exactly did information that the school authorities have, because usually it's the duty of the warden and someone who is responsible to look after to the hostel of about the girls' movements there. So that's the whole allegation that has been raised from the parents. But you see, the school authorities are saying in a way, vague answers that are coming in from the school authorities is actually a worrying matter for the parents. But they sit outside for a protest now, demanding that to give them the information of whether the girls were in fact there in the premises too on the same day, when exactly, what time did they leave, what exactly did they tell to the warden, whom did they inform, and for how long were they out. So all that kind of information the parents are trying to collect from the authorities, but for a long time that they sat on a protest and no answer coming in, and for a long time.
How
but the
unfortunate
did
is
not
this,
give up
Ritu? The girls have been missing, they're minor, it's been over a week and still no clarity from school authorities. I'll just request my colleagues to stay on with us. We also have activist Brinda Adige now joining us on the broadcast. Brinda Adige, we cannot even imagine the plight of these parents. Only when they started protesting are we seeing some sort of activity, but the school still hasn't given a clear answer. The parents must be worrying the worst right now.
You're absolutely right. One cannot imagine what the parents are going through. They place their children in schools, in hostels with complete confidence and faith that the children are safe under the watchful eyes of the warden or the school authorities and the management. That 3 children have gone missing from a school inside the city is an absolute carelessness and negligence on the part of the school, the management and the warden. Why haven't they helped with the police to trace these children? Where could these children have gone? How did the children even leave the premises? What is the kind of security that the school has or the hostel has?
Correct.
All of these are very serious questions must be asked, because we know that for any institution to run a hostel, there are standard minimum procedures that they have to follow, and those procedures cannot be, no negligence in these procedures.
And that is the basic that is expected from school or college authorities, that when you send your children, they'll at least be safe within the premises and then they'll be sent back home safely as well. But Harish, let me actually understand that concern from you. Just talk to our viewers about this specific area and what is the investigation that is taking place. Are there CCTV cameras near this area which can be scanned to at least understand where these girls were headed?
Well, this is in the Pulikeshi Nagar police station limits, and what we understand is that these girls were staying in the school hostel itself, and for the initial few days the parents perhaps haven't got to know that they're not in the hostel, and they've approached the police much later, and there has been a lapse of time of a good week or so, and now the police trying to figure out if they can find out where they went first. And as you rightly pointed out, these are some of the angles that the police are probing now in terms of whether there are CCTV footage available which shows that which direction they headed, whether all 3 of them went together, what time of the day did they go out, and why the hostel warden wasn't aware of this. Did this happen with the knowledge of the hostel warden or not? Were they accompanied by someone else? Was it a larger group of students who went out? These are things that the police are probing, because we've seen in earlier cases where students have gone out as a group, and in some cases they've gone trekking and they've gone missing. In some cases they've just taken off to a different city and didn't have enough money or couldn't communicate with their parents. All these things are being probed. But looks like on the surface of it, there are 2 major lapses. One, why the hostel allowed them to go out. Second, why the parents were not informed clearly, and why the parents approached the police so late.
So we'll really have to see where things are headed. We're really hoping that these girls actually are brought back safely to the school premises and then to their families. Harish, Ritu, we appreciate you getting us all those details. Brinda Adige, also thank you so much for joining us here. We're now shifting our focus